Hi, I'm Mary Jo Coulihan, Executive Director for the Pagosa Springs Chamber of Commerce. In a normal year, the Chamber would host an in-person annual meeting and community celebration where we recognize leaders in our community from local businesses, area nonprofit agencies, and individuals. But as we know, due to COVID-19, 2020 was not a normal year. I call it the year different. So this year, instead of choosing one person from these areas in our community, we decided to choose 5 sectors and people and organizations in those sectors and highlight them in a series of videos. Now we know that there are so many more heroes in our community that we could recognize, and we'll never be able to show them all. But we hope that you enjoy these following stories of success and resiliency and dedication. We are proudly Pagosa.
This video is sponsored by Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care.
My work-life balance has not changed much due to the pandemic. Overall, I think there were some changes early on, like my husband was laid off for a long time in the beginning. Once we got our handle on the pandemic, he went back to work. And of course, my son, who's in high school, went to distance learning, but again, he's in high school, and so he doesn't really request a lot of time or effort on my part. So I'm very lucky. Access actually supported the clinic in the sense that we never closed. We never closed patients. Patients could still make an appointment. They could still come in and be evaluated and be seen. We were the only ones. We were the first organization to get on board with the Department of Health and do community testing. And so we hosted community testing in our clinic for the majority. I think we started in June and we tested through October. So through the heat of the summer, I would test here, and then I also tested personally in La Plata County. And so personally, I've been doing the testing, and the majority of testing in Archuleta County very early on was our team. You know, the downside was we could have tested thousands more people, and we just didn't have the resources to do that. So, I mean, we would test for 4 hours a week, and we would test 70 people. I mean, you're boogieing. We are on the brink of some really great things in terms of being human in this world. The problem is that we really need mass buy-in on vaccines in order for this to really work. And so vaccinate, and I get a question a lot, which one do I get? And I said, whatever one you can.
Oh, I think in lots of the same ways that it's changed for everybody, just having to juggle more things, being, a mom, having to figure out schooling for the kids, and then figuring out the job stuff, which of course we're healthcare, so we're, open during the pandemic. So our business has been running, but it's certainly had a lot of changes in the last several months because of COVID. I'm trained in critical care medicine, and that's really my passion in medicine, and that's taking care of the sick, the sickest patients in the hospital. We don't have a hospital in Pagosa with an intensive care unit, so I've always done work elsewhere, and this hospital in the San Diego area was just one that needed my help and one that I was very familiar with, so I reached out to them at the start of this pandemic to do some more work there. Working in the intensive care unit in San Diego has really given me perspective on the dark side of this virus, the worst part of it. And I can use that to just gain experience and bring that back home to, for one thing, be able to treat the disease on a more mild basis and really understand it, but also just to communicate to people that even though they may not be seeing this really dark, ugly side of it in our little area all the time, that it really can happen and that we need to be prepared. And that's why we wear masks, and that's why we do this distancing, and all of these things that are very inconvenient in our lives really can make a difference.
I told you I'm the CEO, so I have a lot of employees, probably 260 full and part-time employees. And my board has one employee, that's me, so my job is to keep the hospital operational, and I report to a publicly elected board. We're a special district, a health service district. I lived COVID for 2 months along with my team, and I thought about it a lot, and I'm probably the only person that lost weight during COVID. I worried it away. We didn't eat, and I didn't eat much. But we got a lot accomplished in that 6 weeks. Always what we wanted was the same goal, in that we always wanted to know that we wouldn't have to surge at our hospital and have an ICU. We don't have an ICU. We are 10 beds, and we could surge to 26 beds. We could surge to an ICU containing 2 ventilators. We never wanted to do that. We always wanted to make sure we could transfer patients who were sick out. And when we could, once we could get the drug, we could keep patients. We could keep people who weren't as sick here. And we managed to avoid all that. There's only been 1 day in Colorado in November that there were no ICU beds available. The community's been very supportive. They've fed us and they've donated money for us, and they're still feeding us at the vaccines. We have people step up every time we have a mass vaccination and give us lunch or breakfast or both. And it's just been really amazing. It's what Pagosa, it's what it's about. First mass vaccination day, at the end of the day, I sat down with the chief nurse and just kind of teared up and went, this is where we need to be. And so we're pretty fired up about that. I get very emotional about that.